Hello YouTube, this is Raph with the RMCAT channel, and in today's video I'll be telling you guys 5 things I don't like about my Lenovo ThinkPad T470. Let's begin. Number 1, we have the battery. Now don't get me wrong, this thing is by no means a power hungry machine, and nor do I think it ever will be. But when you throw things such as video editing and photo editing into the picture, the computer seems to consume a lot of power. Unless you like being bound to an outlet because of your laptop's poor battery health, the beauty of these machines is that you can always upgrade the battery capacity. Now, I know there are going to be some people saying that they don't have an issue with the T470's battery. Well, my laptop has a total of 4085 mAh, 2000 internally and 2000 externally, which is pretty low if you're talking about a laptop. Although you could upgrade the battery from 4000 mAh to 6000 mAh and more, lithium batteries for these machines are quite expensive and aren't readily available in some countries. Number 2 on my next gripe is the storage capacity. Personally, I've never had an issue with the storage. Some people might, but my T470 comes with an internal M.2 SSD with 256 gigabytes, which is definitely more than enough for my use case, although it would definitely be reassuring if there was a second slot for an internal SSD or hard drive. If this is a concern for you, definitely take a look at the big brother of this laptop, the T480. The T480 is in so many ways superior to the T470, and the storage capacity definitely says so. Unlike the T470, the T480 has 2 M.2 SSD slots, which gives this laptop far greater upgradability further down the line. Though not an issue for me, I would have definitely liked to see upgradable storage. Next on the list about my third gripe about the T470, we have the display. Now, for those of you who've owned a matte surface display, you would know the struggle of sitting in the sun and not being able to see anything even though the brightness is cranked to the max. This is definitely one of the more annoying problems, as it can be an expensive fix. Though, if you do go around doing your homework, you can find many people online finding inexpensive ways to combat this issue. Speaking about the display, the colors of this display can sometimes seem a bit washed up. Watching this movie on this display and comparing it to my MacBook Air, it is pretty obvious that the MacBook has the more brighter screen, with lower contrast leading to a grey hue rather than the deep black. Though I do have to give credit where it's due, the ThinkPad does have a more crispier display in my opinion. The ThinkPad has a resolution of 1920 by 1080p, whereas the MacBook is 1400p by 900, which isn't a night and day difference, but if you're already used to a full 1080p panel, moving down to 900p will definitely surprise you. Next, not a common issue, and I've never heard anyone complain about this, but the charger is my next gripe in this Lenovo ThinkPad. Looking at this charger just annoys me. It is huge and heavy, but it does push an impressive 90 watts compared to its Type-C counterpart, which does max out at 65 watts. Now you might be asking me, Raph, what is the issue with this charger? Well, there's actually nothing wrong with this charger. I mean, it works great and juices this laptop to a respectable 100%, but it's when I compare the charger to the USB Type-C that things start to get a bit interesting. For starters, Type-C is almost becoming the USB of chargers. They're everywhere, and they are much more reliable, and mostly they are very small, making them very easy to move around. And with all this in mind, does this mean go ahead and buy yourself a Type-C charger? Well, not quite. This specific Lenovo is quite strict on the type of chargers used. Like, you cannot just grab a standard Type-C smartphone charger to charge this thing, it just won't cut it. Instead, you can opt for a Chromebook Type-C adapter, as this will ensure your device will have sufficient power to charge to maximum capacity. Lastly, on my things I don't like about my Lenovo ThinkPad T470, we have the keyboard. Wait, what? Did I say something wrong? Oh, I said keyboard. What I was meant to say was the backlighting of the keyboard. I highlighted this issue on my previous video, but I'll shorten it just for time's sake. The T470's backlighting is quite disappointing. I don't usually work in the dark, but when I do like to adjust my keyboard's brightness to a respectable level. But the only issue is that the ThinkPad has 3 lighting options, well 4 if you count off, low, medium and high. And when I compared this to my MacBook Air, it kinda puts this awesome machine to shame, because the MacBook Air has 16 lighting modes that allows for great adjustability. Though these are definitely not big issues, especially if you work in a well-lit area. Now please don't let these gripes be deal breakers, as I know this laptop has far more positives than negatives, and I'll definitely make a video on positives so you guys can consider this laptop. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I apologize for my hiatus. I was busy and now I'm back. Though that's all from me. RMCAT out and peace.